Hey, friends. Tonight is open house. I am entering year five um, in the teaching practice in the high school. And well, tonight's that night that we will meet the parents of the students with whom many of us who teach year long classes. I know we have some teachers here who teach semester courses, so it's a little different. But this is the night that we meet the parents of those young people that we will be serving all year long. So, in my mind tonight, of course, is amongst other things like what am I going to pass out to parents, the supply list and all that sort of thing. Of course, I'm thinking about what I'll wear. Um, I'm sure you can tell that this is not what I'll be wearing to meet the parents. Um, my style of dress is very eclectic, to say the least. I like to dress based on an expression of my personality. I like for my clothes to be an extension of um, of who I am, what I am, how I feel. But I was looking over employee some things in our employee handbook for the district actually, and some of the requirements. And this is about employee conduct. Then policy 4116.11 treats that issue, employee conduct, under which heading falls things like our dress code. And we have to know that disciplinary suspensions, demotion, and dismissal can occur based on any of the things that are infringing on the policies that have been laid out before us. Well, I personally have a friend who she used to teach in an elementary school, and she was sent home before for a skirt that she wore to work, which they said was too short. I also nearly lost a budding friendship with someone because of not anything that had happened in our school at all, but a scandal that had happened, and it went viral about some things that a teacher was wearing, and she and I were simply on two different sides of the fence. I may be a little old fashioned. I don't even think I'm going to apologize for that. The standards that I have come to expect have been based on a lifetime of experience, and I wasn't born yesterday. So we all are who we are, and we're entitled to our individual opinions. Um, and I think the issue is how much individuality can be expressed in settings where some form of conformity is required. So that's a little bit of a different issue. I also, instead of only basing everything on my personal feelings, I've talked to some young people before. Since I serve a demographic of people who are between the ages of 15, every now and then 14, but 15 to normally 17, 18, sometimes just a tad, a bit older than that, then I thought, why not just ask them what their opinions are of how of some things about teacher dress. I have a niece, and again, what she said was actually echoed amongst several young people. But the way that she articulated it, I really could appreciate. She said that whenever her teachers, when she was growing up, she's now like 22, so not in grade school anymore. She said that when her teachers wore jeans, for example, to work, that she always felt that she had a hard time respecting them, that there seemed to be less of an atmosphere that was conducive to learning. Interesting. Again, that's not my comment, it's from someone else. I think that as teachers, I know that as teachers, one of the things that we are required to do as a part of our job is to establish an environment that is conducive to learning. One of my personal experiences way back in the dark ages when I was in high school, I had a teacher, a geometry teacher, in whose class I could not focus at all. First of all, geometry was not easy for me. Second of all, oh, this woman was, oh, I better not say that because then that just is way too easy to trace things and to be able to know who I'm talking about. And the point is not to defame anyone. The point is her manner of dressing I don't know if she was aware of what size she should be wearing. Um, she was also very, very, very full in the chestular area. Yes, I just created a word, okay? Um, I'm very voluptuous, and she was. And she frequently wore t-shirts. She was a very casual dresser. And so, is it okay if I say boobs? Her boobs stuck out for miles, and the t-shirts that she wore, you could see the way that her the brows were made, and I don't know that it was from any sort of I don't suspect that it was from any sort of arousal, but frequently, um, wow, this is a sensitive topic, isn't it? For the most part, whenever she was up in front of the class or writing on the board, um, is it okay to say that well, she gave off the impression, it could be seen through her clothes, as though she was in a constant state of arousal. Now, I don't suspect that she was, but it was simply something that was just always there in front of our eyes. That made it even more difficult to concentrate and pass. Um, when I said, I was trying to be nice when I said I don't know if she knows what size she should have been wearing, but her pants were almost always skin tight, and and she was not a small woman. Not only was she very voluptuous, she was very similar to how I am, very much overweight and also very shapely. And so I guess experiences like that cause me to reflect on how am I dressing in front of my children, my students, much less how I'm going to dress in front of their parents when they come to open house. But I want to make sure that what I am wearing, because I am at the front, I am constantly interacting with my students, sometimes up close and personal. I am constantly walking throughout where their desks are spaced. I don't want to wear anything that's going to be more or less a distraction to their wandering minds. Throughout my brief time here and these 5 years in the school system, I have had a number of male students to really try to flirt with me. That's not abnormal at this age. I'm thinking, at the age that they are. And I know that that's the common experience of many other teachers. But I certainly would not do anything or wear anything to provoke such action. I know how this is. I know what this topic, how it angers some people, how it gets under their skin because it makes us want to get defensive about how much is my responsibility. You know what? If your little perverted mind is going over there, it's not my responsibility to. It's just for me though. It's just like when we are told that 90% of students' success and learning is based on what the teacher does. Even for me, and I told a friend that this morning, she was like, 75% at least should be based on the student themselves. They got to bring something to the table. Well, it's the same type of thing when we start talking about the things that we wear and what can cause, what can be provoking. Okay. And there are some teachers, of course, who feel like, so just because I am a full figured woman, then I should not be able to, you see the defense coming in. I should not be able to wear this and to show that. And, so if I only weighed 100 pounds or 98 pounds, then I would get to, oh man. So what happens is we are more geared towards the expression of our own personality or towards geared towards our own freedoms than we are at that moment about being considerate, about being kind, about being compassionate. Hey, let me tell you, I'm being compassionate to my students when I refuse to to provoke them. Yes, I can be provocative, but isn't there a time? Isn't there a place for everything? And isn't that one of the many lessons that we want to instill in our students? Is there anything wrong with um, reining in our free expression of whom and what we how we are in our clothing? Is there any wrong in reining that in during the school day? Because if there is, if we think that way, I'm just not sure that we're sending the right message to our students. um, I do know that there are a lot of people who don't even agree with the student dress code. Oh, forget it. There are more important things. Students should be able to wear what they want. My goodness, leave them alone. Okay. Okay. I'm just saying, if there are things that take away from the time that could be better spent focusing on um, our content area, and well, then it seems like we would do that. So, what will I be wearing tonight? Well, as old fashioned as I am, I know you would expect me to wear black or blue, right? Um, Something very subdued, something very reserved, something very. And I feel like, maybe I'm flattering myself, but I feel like that I have finally reached the happy medium between, in the happy medium in when we're talking about professionalism, um, and that teacherly look versus the ah, the exuberance of my personality. I hope it's really true. So tonight I'm doing something a little different. Should just took a picture, huh? Hey, wait! I do have something that I can show you. Okay. I don't know. You're probably not gonna be able to. This is the fabric of the material. So you see how that is. Stop! No. Oops. um, the fabric is it just it screams at you, doesn't it? Well, and there will be a little tank top under that. Anyway, it's long, 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 long. The dress is a full maxi dress, and it is sleeveless. Yeesh. So, because of who I am and how I am, and because of all that splash of color, then I have a solid blazer that I was going to wear with it. I do have on I will have on the jewelry that characterizes me just because that's part of who I am. But I think that it will do everything. It will cover up enough and yet be formal enough without seeming stuffy, and yet it has room for how I am, who I am, what my personality is like. So hopefully the parents will be happy, I'll be happy, and my new students will be happy. All right, I hope you have a great school year.